So we're going to discuss outsourcing and its influence on project management careers, the challenges, shifts, and future directions. My name is B. Shimayo. So outsourcing has significantly changed project management careers, and it's requiring new skill sets. And part of the key discussion points we're going to have is how outsourcing affects project managers, the challenges and benefits, and the strategies for adapting to outsourcing trends. And finally, we'll look at the future direction and career resilience. So let's first of all look at the pros of outsourcing for project managers. One of the big pros is a global job market or job opportunities. Now with outsourcing, you have people who working from different countries collaborating on different projects and opportunities that were restricted to a single country or to certain jurisdictions in the past have now opened up to a worldwide talent pool, which has given project managers the opportunity to work in different countries, different jurisdictions, and have a wider pool of opportunities. This gives companies access to diverse talent. Now, talent doesn't have to be restricted to within the confines of the country or the region anymore. As a result of outsourcing, you can get talent from practically any country in the world. And this leads to our third point, which is exposure to multicultural work environments. You have people from different countries and different customs, different traditions, different cultures working together on the same projects in a way that has never been seen before in the history of the project management occupation. This leads to the next point, cost efficiency for organizations, because now they don't have to, there's a larger talent pool, so more employees might be willing to work for less, which isn't really a pro for the project manager professionals, but for the organization it is because it will cost less to hire and retain employees. This leads to our next point, which is career growth in remote and virtual teams. Now, careers can expand outside of your country or region, and as a professional, you get to learn more about how projects are done in different jurisdictions. The last one is the adoption of advanced project management tools. So with outsourcing, the new tools that are used, and these tools are pretty much what helps the project manager do his job more efficiently and work with remote teams better. Now, what are the cons of outsourcing project management or for project managers? We have time zone challenges and communication barriers. Now, imagine you have a project across multiple jurisdictions. I once worked on a project that was done in 9 different countries. Now, imagine if you had people working in Australia, in Europe, the United States, and Canada, all on the same project, and you had to have a meeting at a certain time. It's definitely not going to be convenient for somebody somewhere in the world, right? Communication barriers with even if the common language is English, we have different ways of speaking English, right? We have different words we use for certain to express certain things, and we have different ways of articulating ourselves based on our different cultural nuances. This can lead to cultural misalignment in global teams, a lack of understanding, a lack of sometimes misunderstanding between people, job instability and career fragmentation. Jobs are not as stable as they used to be before because of outsourcing. Now, professionals have to continuously improve their knowledge and their skill because now it's the competition is global and it's fiercer. Career fragmentation simply refers to the fact that you're going to be constantly pivoting to new career paths as a result of some roles which might be outsourced. This is something I've experienced before, where certain roles could be easily be outsourced and they were no longer available. Diffused accountability in cross-border projects. So basically, when you have a project that's so large and you have different project managers handling certain different functional areas, you might have get to a point where it's very confusing as to who's responsible for what activity. So this, if not clearly defined from get-go, might be a problem. And lastly, we have ethical concerns and regulatory issues. So we all know work ethics. Well, a lot of ethical standards are worldwide. Some are based on certain regions or nationalities. This also goes for regulatory issues. Privacy is stricter in the European Union than it is in the United States or Canada. So, and you also have certain companies that might want to keep certain information private. They don't want it to. They want to keep it within, restricted to certain people. This is harder to do on this kind of project because you might have to share information you're trying to keep private on a bigger project with more people who otherwise wouldn't have. You wouldn't have needed to share that information with. So we've mentioned cross-border collaboration hurdles, time zone and cultural differences, unclear accountability and project ownership, career fragmentation due to multiple employers, and an increased risk of miscommunication in virtual teams. So what are the strategies for managing outsourced projects? Well, competency development and continuous skill upgrade is very important because at this point you have to keep improving yourself and upgrading so that you remain competitive as a professional in the market. Process standardization. This is an ongoing continuous process. We have, of course, the use of the PMBOK and other best practices to streamline the practice of project management globally. So with standardization and streamlining of the profession, it becomes easier to just plug in to any project that's going on anywhere in the world because you know the standards are going to be either the same or very similar. You have agile methods, flexibility to handle changing requirements. Now, under the agile methodology, you have the flexibility of going back on a project um, stage instead of, for instance, if you've done the design and you want to go move to the development and you discover there's still stuff that are wrong in the design, you can go back, correct it, move back to development, and detail for testing. When you start testing, you can go back to development and back and forth. This isn't possible under the waterfall project methodology. So agile would be the best for outsourcing, as there might be lots of complexity in the requirements that may need more flexibility. PMO knowledge management and institutional knowledge retention. There has to be a method to retain knowledge and to standardize this knowledge so that it can be shared in the professional community for everyone to access. So, what is the future of project management careers? We're gonna, like every other occupation, have automation and artificial intelligence making an impact on this career path. So it's also important to be ready. There might not be, it might not be the same effect it will have on certain careers because project management still, I believe, to a large extent, will need a human touch. But project managers will have to learn how to not rely on the same routine tasks that can easily be automated when they work on their projects. Ethical responsibilities and outsourcing. We've talked about ethics and regulatory concerns. So it's important to know which jurisdiction you're working in and what the rules and nuances are of working in that jurisdiction. Career resilience through adaptability and constant upskilling. We've also discussed that, the importance of upskilling and the importance of adapting to different work environments. Increased reliance on digital project management tools. So as the career path progresses, you'll notice that there'll be new tools to be used, and this also ties back to upskilling and adaptability. It's important to learn these tools and make sure one is useful in the market, regardless of where one is working as a project manager, whether on a onshore, offshore, outsourced project. So our conclusion, project management careers are evolving due to outsourcing. So it is a must for project managers to adapt to multicultural, and remote teams, learn cultural nuances, build resilience through continuous learning and continuous upskilling. This is very important. And to also embrace technology to stay relevant in a globalized job market, which is continuously changing and ever evolving. Thank you very much. This is my presentation. Right?